You are listening to Belly Birth Beyond with Pelvic Floor Mama. I'm your host, Becca Boving, pelvic rehab certified coach and mom of two. Welcome to the safe space where no topics of motherhood are off limits and judgment is left at the door. Too many mamas are dismissed when they've got valid concerns. If you're sick of hearing that's normal when it feels otherwise, keep listening. It's your second trimester of pregnancy and you are feeling so much better. You're not in bed all day long, exhausted, and the nausea has subsided. At least I hope that's how you're feeling. That's that's my hope for you. I know that's not the case for every mama. The exhaustion through pregnancy can last forever. Totally get it. It takes something out of your body. It really does. But it's amazing. Some moms don't enjoy pregnancy, and I want you to know that if you're one of those moms, it's okay. It doesn't make you any less of a mom. Just going to put that out there. But the second trimester is hopefully the one of the best trimesters, or at least hopefully you're feeling the best during this trimester. And if you aren't right now, I hope that that can be the case for you. Remember, pregnancy pain is common, but it's not normal. So if you finally entered that second trimester, but now you're having pain and you need some support, we talked last week about what learning your pelvic floor is and how to avoid pain or what to do to set your body up so you don't have as much pain. But sometimes it can sneak up on you and then you feel lost and not sure what to do. So if that's you right now, grab Secrets to Releasing Pregnancy Pain or go check out the Mama Bundle and have some one-on-one support. So that way you can really feel your best during pregnancy because you deserve to enjoy your pregnancy and not just simply survive it. So now that you are in your second trimester, what are some things that you should do? And I went over like your pelvic floor and what that means. And sometimes you don't feel ready to do that in the first trimester. And I don't expect anyone to do that in their first trimester. So if you haven't done that, that is something you need to do for the second trimester. Just learning your pelvic floor. And this is going to be more important because now that you're in the second trimester, your belly is probably starting to show a little bit. Baby's getting a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger. Your body's adjusting and changing. And so these simple things, as simple as breathing, as simple as engaging your core and your pelvic floor, these little things can make a huge difference in your pregnancy and how you feel. If you have that exhaustion, sometimes just doing a little bit of these things can have your body feeling better because you're giving your body that support that it needs and the comfort that it needs. Okay. So the second trimester is where I really want to emphasize like strengthening. Okay. You should know, hopefully by now, that pelvic floor is not pushing your baby out. Your pelvic floor needs to move the heck out of the way to push your baby out. So it's ditch the Kegels, ditch all that nonsense, and really just work on relaxation and mobility. And that is what your third trimester should look like. Not that you can't do that in second trimester, because there is a balance between like strength and flexibility and mobility and all of that. And we're going to talk about that. So if you're like, what the hell are you talking about right now, Becca? This is insane. We're going to talk about it. So, strengthening during your second trimester, what I mean by that is in order to have a strong pelvic floor, a strong foundation to just support your body and your pregnancy and the changes that are taking place, you have to have a strong core, pelvic floor, glutes, etc. Okay. But if we have tightness in your glutes, in your pelvic floor, and let's be honest, we sometimes your boobs are probably bigger, right? And so your bras might be a lot tighter. And so your diaphragm is restricted. And so you're not able to get that full breath of air. And so your diaphragm feels it's tighter. It's not able to move the way it needs to. These can all add to dysfunction and pain and stuff down the road if you don't already have it, which I don't want you to have it. So we're going to talk about it now. So get bras that actually fit you. If you have to wear maternity bras during your pregnancy, y'all, they're comfortable. They are so comfortable. You can get like a 5-pack off Amazon for like not that expensive, and they're really comfortable. They're practical. I think I just stopped wearing my maternity bras like within the last year. But moving on, that's something that can be important. The reason why your diaphragm and your pelvic floor are so important, or your diaphragm is so important to your pelvic floor, is because your diaphragm and your pelvic floor work together. Okay. So if your diaphragm isn't able to like fully move how it needs to, and also maybe I hope not now, but society has us in like super tight pants and leggings and jeans we can barely button, and our pelvic floor is not moving and things like that. If that's the case, then we need to allow those muscles to expand. We need to allow our diaphragm to open up. So again, back to that breathing, you're going to allow like your chest to rise, your rib cage to kind of expand, your belly to rise. Let the belly go. Okay, let your belly go. That's one thing that can probably help you during this pregnancy is if you're someone who's always been holding in your belly or tightening your core, just getting your belly, like you're always holding your belly in. You don't need to be doing that anymore. That's bad for your pelvic floor, bad for your health, okay? Let your belly go. No one cares, and if they do, they're not meant to be in your life. It's not worth it, okay? So, strengthening during your pregnancy is gonna look like engaging your pelvic floor, engaging your core, and getting those glutes to work how we want them to work. However, women specifically so often hold tightness or tension in your butt. You do. And when you get that like clenching in your butt where you may not even realize it, especially if you're pregnant and you have other kids at home. If this is like your second, third pregnancy and you're carrying other kids, you probably tuck your butt under and you don't even realize it. And then you're carrying your kids around. And so you're shortening your glutes and then they get tight because they're not able to like lengthen and move how we want them to. That can be really common, especially as you get bigger in pregnancy. A lot of times you tuck your butt under and you like get that waddle going or just that like arch your back type of thing. Hopefully, you can kind of picture that in your head. That's tightening your glutes and not allowing them to move how you want them to. So, some things you can do to limit this from happening or to address the tightness in your glutes is we need to teach them how to lengthen. So, not just stretching, which I love like a good modified pigeon, like putting your leg up on like a bar stool or the edge of a couch or bed or something and getting a really good stretch, or your desk if you have to sit at a desk all day. So helpful. Love that one. But we want to lengthen the glutes too. So sometimes by lengthening the glutes, you can do something as simple as just like a hip hinge, okay, where you're like bending at your waist. If you don't know how to do this, I walk you through it throughout my programs or some one on one support. So there's also some videos on my Instagram page. If you haven't already saved those, save them. So hip hinges can be really great because one, you're lengthening those glutes, but then you're also teaching them how to engage when you stand up. So you don't want to just start doing a bunch of like bridges and I don't know, hip thrust and things like that. You want to first allow those glutes to relax. So modified pigeon is great. A hip hinge is really great, and I love hip internal rotation because a lot of times glutes are really tight because you have your piriformis, right? If you ever heard of your piriformis, is this really small muscle in your butt that can get tight, and it's your piriformis is responsible for like external rotation. So if you can add in the opposite of that, internal rotation, then you're turning that muscle off. And so it's able to relax and kind of move more freely. So, some ways you can do the internal rotation are get on your hands and knees and have your knees shoulder width apart underneath you. And then you're just tapping your feet kind of like outside of your knees and coming back together. Again, there's videos on my page. It can be really hard for me to talk through them. You can also sit in a chair. Your knees should be apart. And then you just kind of kick your feet out to the side like away from each other. Okay, so it's almost like the knees and feet out, but I don't want your knees to touch each other. Okay, so you can put a pillow between your legs, you can put in a ball between your legs, and then you can do it that way. And if you need more resistance, you can get a little like loop or a band and put them around your feet, and you can do it sitting in a chair or on your hands and knees with it. But I love doing that because you can kind of relax it. So my point to all of this, the second trimester should be more focused on like I don't know, feeling good, right? And if you are someone who likes to be active or you just want to have a good pregnancy where you can actually enjoy it and not have to worry about the pain or the discomfort, even late into your third trimester, a lot of things you do right now can help set you up for that. So lengthening the glutes, but then strengthening them. So once you feel like you don't have as much tension in your glutes and you can start working, then you can start going into more exercises. And so often moms are like, what pelvic floor exercises should I be doing? And really, it's about being intentional with the movements you're already doing. So let's say you're an active individual and you're working out already and you are wanting to do the same workouts you were doing before you were pregnant. Great. I love that. Okay. So now when you're doing your exercises, being just more intentional when you do them. So let's say you're doing lunges. Okay. Hopefully you don't have pubic symphysis pain because if you do, lunges are going to add to your pain. But let's say you're doing lunges and you're just doing like a standing reverse lunge. Okay. As you're doing your reverse lunge, as you're coming down, you want to inhale. And then as you stand up, you want to exhale. You want to engage your core and you want to engage your pelvic floor. That's how you're going to support yourself. Okay. So you're doing the same movements, but you're just being more intentional with your breathing, with your core, and your pelvic floor. You're just being a little more mindful. And that's gonna help support you. If you're like, "Beck, I've never done any workouts in my life. Help me out. What can I do?" You can find some really good videos too, and you can do those. I have the Pregnant Pelvic Power Challenge, and I'm going to be working on another challenge for pregnancy because the Pregnant Pelvic Power Challenge is a lot of the same movements, and that can get boring. So you can take a look at that. There's a link on my page with, on, like, my link tree on any of my TikTok, Instagram. You can grab that and you can look for the Pregnant Pelvic Power Challenge. And you can do movements like that. But if you're already doing movements, it's just being more intentional. It's just utilizing your breathing, your core, and your pelvic floor, and that is going to help you have a stronger pregnancy, if that makes sense, okay? But if your glutes are already tight, as I kinda mentioned, and then you just start doing a bunch of, like, bridges and, I don't know, laying on your side, lifting your leg up, like, working, like, straight leg raises type of thing, working on your glutes, you're just continuously adding to that tightness and that tension in your glutes, and so it's not really helping. So, yeah, they're not really getting stronger because they're just tight. So they're getting tighter, and that can be a problem. So there's the balance between, like, strengthening and mobility. And so if you are already doing workouts, just add in a little bit of mobility at the end of your workout. Do some hip internal rotation, do some, like, adductor rocks. Adductor rocks are gonna be so amazing for everybody. I think every person would benefit from those because it's their muscles we don't really look at or talk about or do anything with. So just doing some gentle adductor rocks can make a huge difference too. If you get your ball out, your ball doesn't have to wait till 3rd trimester. Get your ball out now. 2nd trimester, get your big old ball. I have a link, for a discounted ball, and it's great quality, and it's price that you can get off Amazon and stuff. It'll come. And you want a 65 centimeter ball for most moms. I don't think I would ever say get a 75. Like, that's way, 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 way too big. However, if you're like, I don't know, under 5 foot, like 4 something, then maybe a 55 centimeter. But generally, you want a 65 centimeter ball. You want to make sure your hips are above your knees when you're sitting. So you don't want like a 90-degree angle from your hip to your knee. And you can just use a ball to sit at. If you sit throughout the day, even if it's just like 30 minutes watching TV at night, you can use a ball to do like pelvic tilts, circles. This isn't stuff that's just like, so often moms are like, I don't want to do that because it's going to put me into labor. It's not going to put you into labor, but it's going to get your body ready and have a good, like, your body's going to be able to move how it's supposed to move. So when it is time to go into labor or it is time for your baby to drop, your baby's going to be able to drop and put that pressure on your cervix. Because sometimes what happens is, like, your baby can't drop further into your pelvis and put that pressure on your cervix, which starts labor, starts dilation, all those types of things, because your hips are really tight, your glutes are really tight, pelvic floor is tight. So it's really hard for your baby to actually like fall down into your pelvis and start labor. I've actually experienced this firsthand, which I think might be another reason why I'm a little more, and I've had moms also experience this too. So it's one of the reasons why I really preach about relaxation and just mobility. Strengthening is great, but we also need to have that mobility aspect. Because with my VBAC that I had, my daughter was, I had false labor for a week and I had lost my mucus plug and all the things. And I finally went and saw my doula at 40 weeks, 6 days. She was a massage therapist. And I didn't know what I know now, which, it's always hindsight. And so she just did some releasing of like my hip flexors. And honestly, if you saw how tight my hips were, I was baffled. And the fact that I didn't know it like blew my mind. So she did some releasing of that. And actually my right side looked like I couldn't move at all. And my left side looked great. But then once she released my right side, my left side looked like it couldn't move at all either. So they both were terrible. Long story short, I stood up from the table. And as soon as I stood up from the table, I was like, holy goodness gracious. My daughter's head, I'm not kidding. I felt her slide down into my pelvis and like literally drop into my pelvis, like so low. Like, that waddle because like the head is right there. That's what I felt like. And my doula's like, I'll see you tomorrow. Just kind of nonchalant joking. No, I literally went into labor like between 12 and 18 hours later. And so the tightness of your hips, your pelvic floor, your glutes, those types of things make a difference in your pregnancy. Not only your pain, but when it is time for labor and for your body to do what it needs to do, your baby's got to be able to make its way through there. And your baby comes through with and has to come through with your glutes and your pelvic floor and your hips. And so if they're tight, it just makes it harder for them to do that. So you can address those things during your 2nd trimester. So 2nd trimester is kind of like that. Have fun, do it feels right. Work on some strengthening, some mobility, enjoy yourself. Try to create good habits so that way when you get to 3rd trimester and you're rapidly growing, baby's rapidly growing, you're getting heavier or the baby's getting heavier and you don't want to have those, I don't want to say typical because they're not typical. They're common. 3rd trimester aches and pains and terrible sleep. Set that foundation right now. You can Yes, you're gonna have to pee more and stuff because you have more pressure of your baby, but not all the gosh darn time. And if you can strengthen your pelvic floor throughout the second trimester and you can feel really good, you can set yourself up for an even better third trimester. There are so many moms who I work with who are like, "Oh my goodness, I'm feeling better at 36 weeks than I did at 26 because I did some of these things." So just because you're getting further in pregnancy doesn't mean you have to feel worse as you go. It does not mean you have to do that. Make sure you're up on your nutrition. Make sure you are drinking enough water. That's really important. And make sure that you just move your body 5 to 10 minutes a day. I'm not even saying go work out 30 to 60 minutes. I'm saying move your body 5 to 10 minutes a day. And if you feel like you don't have time to do that, don't do 5 to 10 minutes at a time. Do 5 to 10 minutes throughout your day. So think about like snacks of movement. I had a mom say this in a class and I loved it and asked her if I could take it. Snacks of movement. Every time you want a snack, do a little movement. And I don't mean it has to be really long. I mean, like you could do 30 seconds to a minute. And then next time you get a snack, right? So, like first thing in the morning, lunchtime, bedtime, if you do something before you go to bed at night, oh my goodness, you are going to sleep so much better. Truly, you will sleep so much better. The mamas within the community have a bedtime mobility video that I put together, and it has been, uh, they have raved about it. They love it. So, if that's something you want, send me a message and let me know. But this is your time to like have a good second try, set yourself up so you can feel good third trimester. You deserve to enjoy pregnancy or at least be able to get through pregnancy without feeling like you're just surviving. Because I can understand not everybody loves pregnancy because sometimes it just feels weird or awkward or like whatever it may be. But I don't want you to hate pregnancy because you're in pain and you're leaking all the time. Okay, that is not, I don't want that to be a reality, and you deserve better than that. You are a person outside of this pregnancy, and so often you don't feel like it. You just feel like you're this baby is everything, which this baby is everything, but you are something too. So that's my little soapbox for second trimester. Let me know what you think. Check out, start doing some of those things. If you need help and guidance, remember Secrets Releasing Pregnancy Pain has everything you need to know about moving your body and your pelvic floor. If you grab the Momma bundle, you are getting access to the community, one on one support. And it's not just through pregnancy, you also get birth preparation and support, and you have support postpartum too. And you have lifetime of the course access. So if this is your first pregnancy, you can have it for all of your pregnancies and you can even go back and do it. I have a lot of my postpartum mamas going back and doing secrets release and pregnancy pain movements because guess what? A lot of times they're the same. It's just you're not pregnant anymore. So it can really help guide you through your healing journey. So on that note, I will see you next week and I'm super excited for next week's episode. It's all about childproofing your marriage. So if this is your first baby, second baby, even your third baby, and you've had some tension within your marriage and just the parental roles and just everything changing, I love, love, love my interview with Michelle. She is a marriage coach and childproofing your marriage. It's going to be great. So make sure you come out and listen to that. Nothing is TMI when it comes to motherhood, and common doesn't necessarily mean normal. Always trust your gut and never stop advocating for the care you deserve. If you enjoyed this podcast, help it reach more mamas like you by subscribing and leaving a review on your preferred listening platform. Keep in touch with me on Instagram by following Pelvic Floor Momma. See you next time.